Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Yes, I think I'm ready. Well, I don't know if I feel ready, but I think I'm ready. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Streamstructor. First one since April, of course. I'm here for the next hour or so, going through some archive footage, talking about what's been going on the past couple of months in personal life, to an extent of reenactments and things like that. And also, just nice to be back live. This will be the last live one for 2 months. Just the way things are working out at the moment. There will be a Streamstructor next month, but it will be as live, and I'll explain a bit more later on. But how's everybody doing? How's your week been? How's your month been? How's your 2 months been since I last spoke to you in this sort of format? Mine has been pretty good. It's been an okay past couple of months. Lot of different things going on. A couple of reenactment events have happened last month. Went to Spiny Palace in the middle of May, which was lovely. Great atmosphere up there. Saturday was gorgeous, the weather. Sunday was a bit wet, but I managed to survive. I wasn't struggling at all, dehydration wise. Unfortunately, today is a different matter. I almost didn't do this live stream. That's how bad I was feeling, but I'm surviving just enough. I should be able to get through the next hour without any problems. And hopefully by that time I'll be hungry. But apart from that, yes, it's good to be back. It's good to be here, and good to have some live stream chat with you guys. If you are live and with me right now, by all means leave a comment down below. There seems to be a new little feature that's coming up on the YouTubes, where you can react to the conversations now. So yeah, if any chat does come up, please react to it. Please do all that. If you want to like this stream, you can do the usual like as usual. If you want to share it, hit that share button. Obviously, hopefully you guys will come from all around and have some fun today. I am the one-man bank today. There'll be no Fraser. I think he had enough of slagging me off last time, so he kind of behaved himself this time. I don't know. He'll be about us. No doubt he'll be chatting in the chat at some point, but he's out enjoying the sun like everybody else is. Even if he doesn't turn up, do you know what? That's absolutely understandable. Let's just say next weekend's going to be very busy for him. It's a very big weekend for him, a big weekend for me, a lot of busyness coming up, and that's part of the reason why it's an as live Streamstructor next time. But that's not all we talk about. I don't always talk about rubbish on here. I also give some archive videos, and here's the running order for today of the videos that are coming up. So we have 2 today. We have Caerphilly Castle, quite ironic because that's how I ended the 100th vlog, and then we have Doctor Who review of Silver Nemesis with Mr. Cool. Evening Barry, what's new with you? Enjoying this beautiful sunny day? I think the polite phrase of that is, I was until I got dehydrated. Oh, it's come up. It's fine. It's working. Cool. Yeah, feeling a bit ill the past couple of days, the past couple of hours, which isn't ideal. But yes, I'm doing okay. The sunny day was beautiful until I realised I wasn't drinking enough, and past couple of hours I've not been feeling the best, but I'm well enough to do this. The light is shining through. It's not just my pallid skin from being very ill, but no, I'll be fine. I'll manage for the next couple of hours or next hour or so, fingers crossed. But yes, welcome to the live stream in a chatting capacity. I don't know if you know this about the feature, Fraser, but there is now a reactions icon that you can click on the chat, which is interesting. YouTube trying to get all Facebooky with us. I don't know why that worked. I mean, I don't know how that works. What's the reaction we've got here? Oh, any sort of gifts you want. Okay, that's interesting. Right. Let me just try this then. I'll just put this chat in here. Say hello, and if you want to react to it, you can react to it with whatever you want. Poo emoji is something I expect, but no. Yeah. We're walking from home from my day out, so sorry if you can't comment along properly. That's fair enough. Hopefully it was a lovely day out with Harrison. I saw some pictures earlier on of you guys going out. I don't recall where you went though. I don't recognise the museum you went to, so that'd be interesting. It wasn't the Riverside. I can't recall where it was, but yeah, I did see that earlier on. That was really quite cool. Yes. I see a mysterious watcher is here. Well, when will they reveal themselves? I don't know when they'll reveal themselves. They may never. They haven't done for the past 2.5 years. Oh, 3.5 years. I doubt very much they'll reveal themselves now. We'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. But But yes, the Mysterious Watcher is here, so we've got 3 of you watching at the moment. That's pretty good numbers, really, for a live stream. But yes, so we've got the archives coming up, of course. We've got the running order, as I mentioned before. We've got Caerphilly Castle, the vlog from vlog 41. Hard to believe we've got 40 Streamstructor instalments as it is. And then we've got Silver Nemesis, of course, the Doctor Who review, which Mr. Cool was part of. So it's quite a long one in that respect, and I'm sure very enjoyable indeed. Okay, let's get on with this. Let's go and do a bit more talking and archiving and chat about what I've been up to. I do have a little video coming up for a reenactment place I went to last weekend. It was just a early morning quick tour. I didn't manage to get to much video apart from that, but it's certainly a candidate for another vlog in the future. Beautiful site. A bit more about that later. I will do the 1 minute silence for the live stream, hopefully without being interrupted this time, for Ukraine. And yes, a lot to enjoy, a lot of fun. Hopefully will be had in this live stream with some odd comments. Anyway, congratulations, 100 vlogs, a great achievement. How do you feel about it all, and what's next? Thank you very much. Yes, it is a great achievement. It's quite amazing. It's taken 5 years to get another 50 on the board. It just shows you how long it took to get the first 50. But yeah, it's a great achievement. I think it's a great thing to have, and there's lots of strands reaching milestones this year. We've got Kidstructor reaching 50 later in the year. We have Doctor Who reviews reaching 100 videos later in the year. So it seems to be maturing into quite a big milestone year, as well as a milestone birthday. What's next? Well, I've still got stuff from April 2020 to put out. So the next one won't be till July. It will be July the 2nd. Will be the next vlog, and yes, I complete my trip to Jedburgh with that's the plan anyway. I've not edited it yet, but hopefully it will be Mary Queen of Scots House, the museum in Jedburgh, and then I've completed a vlog that's been sitting in the banking for quite a while, so that will be August. But more about that as we go along. But yes, no, the vlogs will continue. They intend to continue. And as it stands at the moment, if we're doing a basis of 1 vlog a month, we're talking about, at the moment, being able to do vlogs as far ahead as this time next year. So, yeah, I think you've got vlogs for a wee while yet before I decide I've had enough of them. But, yeah, it's just one of those things that is a stalwart of the channel and a stalwart of my output over the past 15 years. Or certainly past 15 years in the vlogs anyway. So yes, 2 reenactment events, let's say Spiny Palace in May, and then obviously went over to Cultybraggan Camp, which I'll mention later on last week. And vlogging is, well, reenactment events are quite a lot over the next few weeks and months. It's going to be really quite intriguing seeing it all and seeing how it all works out. Because I've got a lot of weekends of a lot of stuff, and it's going to force me to do things a little different with the schedule, which I'll hopefully broach a little bit later on. But yeah, the house is a little bit of a mess. This is like the cleanest corner of the house at the moment, because we're decorating the living room for the first time in, what, a decade? So it's been quite interesting this weekend. I've been helping with the decoration for some of it. Unfortunately, the migraine kicked in, so I couldn't do too much. But that's what happens when you're trying to make sure you keep hydrated, and you get too concentrated, you cause yourselves problems. But there we go. I'm a fickle one for that anyway. But yes, no, it's been fun. It's been interesting to get it done. And next weekend is going to be a lot of fun, because it's a long weekend for me. Lots of things going on, and yeah, I might broach that a little bit later on. Before we go any further, though, let's talk about what happened last weekend. Now, I was invited as part of History Matters Limited, which is one of the groups I'm part of. To go up to Cultybraggan Camp, which is near Caerphilly in Perthshire, and it was a 1 day thing, but I stayed overnight the night before, And here is my early morning walk and my early morning explore of what I think is quite a wonderful little site. So I'm here today as part of History Matters, one of the reenactment groups I'm part of, well, the same people as Historic Saltire, and one day event. We're doing multi-peer representation from medieval through to Napoleonic, and I'm going to be a man-at-arms today talking about arms and armour in the armoury. So yeah, great little showcase to keep us going. Quite short to get up here as well. I'm thinking Perthshire, deep dark Perthshire, not going to find anywhere. Hour and a half it took me, so it's not too bad, but it's a glorious day. It looks like it's going to be really warm, so lots of sun cream coming out, and it's going to be quite a fun day. Hopefully there'll be clips, and we're having a lot of fun, put it that way. But let's go and explore the site a little bit more from the other side and just go through and have a look at some of the other elements of the site. I had a barbecue there last night, very nice. We're just going round the edges at the moment, but these huts are full of businesses or storage facilities for local community. Nice way of repurposing. Here you've got some more modern buildings like that one there. There's work sheds and huts. But most of them are from the time of the Second World War. Amazing to think that some of these buildings are now getting on 80 years old. And there's no signal for miles around the valley, but there's decent signal here because that's been turned into a mobile phone mast. What would originally been a communications tower of some sort. Look at that in the background with the hills. That's totally stunning. It's totally stunning. There's lots of reenactors here this weekend. We have some Covenanters, we've got some Scottish Normans, and we have a representation with us of medieval, as I say, through to Napoleonic. There's also lots of World War II people. There's a British contingent and there is a German contingent. And the German contingent were practicing firing off their shots when I came in over last night, so it'll be quite a cool show to see if I get a chance to see it later on in the arena. But we're quite far away from the arena, so it's quite a distance between the two, but good for the steps, I suppose. And a morning wake up walk before I get going with the proper day always seems to help. I believe this is in the heart of Perthshire. It looks like it's somewhere in the south of England. It's got that kind of look to it. I wonder if they'd ever allow any filming or anything in here. It'd be quite interesting. And then we've got the communications hub. Looks like there was some sort of bunker in there as well at some point. So there's lots of arts and crafts and local businesses here. There's even self-service accommodation in some of the huts. Quite an interesting idea. So we're not exactly period at the moment, but people are starting to turn up. But right in the centre there is the History Matters camp. No doubt some people around the campfire. If you want to find out who was there, what the fun was and everything, check out the History Matters Facebook and hopefully, of course, the website. I'm not going to show any more goodies here because it will kind of spoil the surprise for a future vlog when I come back. But yeah, let's get back to the live stream. Let's get back to the live stream indeed, yes. I really loved that site. I think it's really beautiful. The pictures and the video you see does not do it justice. In this gorgeous sunshine we're having at the moment, it really is a peaceful site to go to. It's not the best for the night sky. Spiny actually made me see stuff that's really stunning for the first time ever. I've never seen a sky that dark. I'm really hoping Caerphilly Castle this year gives me a very dark sky because I think it'll be beautiful. But I think I saw for the first time the little plough, the little bear, up in the sky, which is amazing to think that was there. And I thought it was the big one, and then I realised later on, no, it was a little plough. It's like, it's a stunning sky. It wasn't so stunning with the Cultybraggan Camp, because unfortunately some businesses have some floodlights, and if you pass by them, your vision goes. So it wasn't the greatest, but it was a fun thing, because History Matters, what they did is they basically had groups of people. It actually wasn't just medieval; it was actually as far back as Pictish times, so Roman times. This girl who was fairly local, but she was making pots, and she'd making pots in the kind of Pictish style, the Dark Age style, which is really wonderful. You then got the medieval idiots like myself talking about the armory. The site we were based was kind of out the way of the main arena, so it was a little bit quieter than it could have been. But in some respects, that was actually quite good, because I was starting to get a bit warm and overheating by the end of the day. But it was still fun to have and still fun to do. And then we went to the show. We did our show, and as I say, we had Napoleonic people there as well. And one of the guys has a lot of muskets and guns from that period. So it was kind of a mix of, we did what we call the Kids Army, which I've mentioned before, which is basically all the reenactors get up there and they have a mock fight with kids who have foam swords and things like that, and they chase and attack all the reenactors, and we have to feign, being hurt and screaming, and I'm running around the field screaming like a girl and things like that. It's really fun. And then we had a tug of war afterwards, and I ended up putting myself forward for the tug of war to start with, which I thought was quite fun. And all these kids trying to pull you along and all that fun about it. And then in between all that, we had the Napoleonic guys in our group firing off not just a cannon, but also musket guns and a big wall gun. And this gun is 150 years old. It's an antique. It's 6 foot long, and it's held on a pole. And when you fill that with black powder and let it go, oh my god, what a bang! What a bang! You really do need to cup your ears, otherwise you do get a insane tinnitus and ringing in your ears. It is an amazing sight. And I actually got to hold the stick that it was held up on with ear defenders on while it got fired, and my god, could I feel it. I could feel the gun being fired. It was an amazing experience, and hopefully one of these days there'll be a clip I can show you of it being fired, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that was Cultybraggan Camp, and that was really one of the better weekends I've had over the past couple of months. Reenactment is the big thing over the next 6 to 8 weeks. Lots of things going on, lots of conversations going on, lots of chats, and lots of events I'll be doing, and I'll list a few of them later on. But before we go any further, there is an event that's still ongoing, which is still depressing me even after all this time, and of course it's the war in Ukraine. So I thought it was time to maybe have a look and see if we can do the minute silence as always, and see if we can get something better from it. So yes, we're about to do the minute silence. If you want to join me, thank you very much. I was going to spend a minute doing this. Also, another thing, just a heads up as well. It looks like it's stable at the moment, but I've had some broadband issues, so if I do cut out at any point, my apologies. It looks like we're pretty stable at the moment. It's behaving itself, but it could go at any moment. So if I do leave you and lose you for 5 minutes, I apologise profusely in advance. Anyway, let's go with the minute silence for the people of Ukraine, which I said I will continue to do until that conflict is over. So yeah, here we go. 1 minute silence coming up now. If you joined in with that, thank you very much. It's much appreciated. So yes, that is the minute of silence for this month, and I will continue to do that until the conflict has resolved itself. Hopefully not in a bad way, but yeah, it's on the cusp of a big change. Everybody's reporting. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. I've actually started listening to a podcast called Ukrainecast, the BBC's podcast. It just happened to come up on the Spotify feed, and I'm listening to it when they come out. It's one every couple of days. So Tuesdays and Fridays they tend to post stuff, and it's interesting having all the stories about people in Ukraine and the turmoil they're going through and all that. And it's an interesting listen. And if you are intrigued about the whole situation, I would recommend listening to it, because it's quite an informative way of telling what's happening and getting some stories from people from the behind the scenes, and not just the headlines you see on the telly. But yes, from one sober note to something a bit more joyous, let's go on and do the first of our archive videos today. So we have, of course, Caerphilly Castle coming up very soon. But Silver Nemesis is the one review we'll get later. It's quite a long one, so it might be a dinner time opportunity for me. I don't know. But yes, let's go and play the first of our archive videos tonight. It's the vlog to Caerphilly Castle. Good morning! I am currently on my holiday in South Wales when you see this vlog, and I am about to go to a castle. It's not Cardiff Castle. Which castle it is, you'll just have to wait and see. Welcome to another vlog. So quick backstory for this, I need to kill time. Supposed to go to the Doctor Who experience this morning, the 8th of August 2017, but silly Billy here didn't book the tickets in advance, and the tickets for this morning were already sold out. So I've got a ticket for this afternoon. I need to kill time. What better way than going to a castle? I've been to Cardiff, and this one's not far away. It's about 7 miles away from Cardiff, in Caerphilly, and I'm going to make the most of it. Sorry, most of it. The Leaning Tower. Look at that. Look at the keep. Massive. And heavily restored in the 19th and 20th century. Good to see the Welsh have a little joke. Somebody trying to hold the tower up. They're saying it's probably started to lean when they were trying to demolish it in the Civil War, the English Civil War in 1640. Tends to be the story of most of these castles. Working well, great castle, they're destroyed in the Civil War. The ones that do survive in any great form today are ones that actually, you know, continue to have national significance. like Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle, Windsor Castle, or castles that were restored extensively by their owners in later years. There's some castles like Newark where the castle was kept intact virtually and used for other means, and those are usually the castles that are preserved the most authentically, I suppose is the way you could put it. But yeah, Leaning Tower. You always think it's about to come on top of you from this angle. So here we are, I'm at the top of the inner gatehouse. Now Caerphilly is interesting because it sits in a valley, it's not in a hill like most traditional points are, but there's so many defensive parts to the castle that it's effectively as good a defensive castle as any castle you would have had at that era. It was built during the Welsh War of Independence, when Edward I was trying to you know, it was robustly defended during the Welsh War of Independence. It was built in the 13th century as a mansion to the Lords of Glamorgan. And Caerphilly, like Cook and Cardiff Castle, fell into the estates of the Marquess of Bute. And the 3rd Marquess and 4th Marquess did extensive restoration before this, Cook and Cardiff were put into state care. In the middle of the 20th century, Cardiff was given to the council. The other two are in state care. But yeah, no, it's a lovely castle so far. What I've seen, I've only been in about 20 minutes, and there's a lot more to see. There's a few interactive exhibits around as well, so there's a bit more than just a few four walls. So they really have made a lot of this location and tried to make it quite an interesting place to visit. And I'm really pleased I've now come here. But the views around the valley are fantastic. I'll try and see if we can get some more views later on. But let's go and see what else there is, shall we? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a known glitch in the original video. I'm not quite sure why that's happened, but yeah, it is part of it, so my apologies in advance. I didn't know the carrot guys were working today. Well, that was very interesting. That was a good day. I've just been going through the files and I've deleted all the falconry stuff I had. Oh no, that's half an hour worth of stuff I've lost. Silly Billy. But there was falconry there as well. Exhibition that was there, and they had owl and kite and some eagles and a vulture who was very moody. Unfortunately, the footage is gone. Oh no! If you have been watching, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below. I post a video every Sunday. If you like what you see, please don't forget to share it and let everybody else know that these videos are out there. It's much appreciated. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later. That's a glitchy video, that one. Didn't realise, you know, obviously I've uploaded it and I didn't realise how bad it was. That is a copy of the video that's up on YouTube at the moment. Ooh! Okay, that was unexpected. I wasn't expecting that. I expect everything to have a quality threshold. Obviously that quality threshold completely went out the window. I didn't notice it when I was using it for clips for Vlog 100. Obviously, I haven't noticed it until now as well, which is really annoying, but there we go. I knew about the end bit, which is why I clipped it, but I didn't realise there was other bits in between where you can't see half the scenery because I decided to glitch out with my editing software. Big bane in my life, really, sometimes with the editing software. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome to another Streamstructor. If you just joined me, that was a very glitchy replay of Vlog 41, Caerphilly Castle. I said Castecosh. Cock, I think I said cock in that one, but I can't get the name of it. Castellcosh. I have been there. It has been filmed, and you should see it later this year. Fingers crossed. So I have done all the 3 castles round about Cardiff now, which is intriguing. But it was, in some respects, it's a nice little bookend for the videos that went out for Vlog 100 last month. I'm really pleased with the response I've had from them. Views wise, they've all done either okay, or they've done good. Part 4 is actually the best one so far, which is really nice to have, and it's a great tribute to 100 vlogs in that respect. I'm really pleased and happy that it's happened. But yeah, we have one more thing to talk about, of course, of the usual bits and pieces before we get into the long Doctor Who review, and it is quite a long one. So brace yourselves, guys. Hopefully this one isn't glitchy. But we have birthdays. Facebook birthdays are coming up. So here we go. Here are some Facebook birthdays to say happy birthday to. So we start with my friend Sharon, whose birthday is on the 9th of June. Happy birthday, Sharon. Then we've got a smorgasbord of reenactors who have their birthdays in June. We've got Laura on the 15th. We have John, or Gimli as we call him, on the 16th. Don't ask. We then have, who else have we got? Oh, that's right, yes, we've got Leslie. A big birthday for her on the 25th. Happy birthday, Leslie. I think you will not have me visiting on that day. I think I might be busy with other things, but we'll see how it goes. Then another reenactment mate, Willie, his birthday's on the 25th of June as well, so happy birthday, mate, when it comes round. And then we've got Caroline. Your birthday's on the 28th of June. A lot of June babies. I wonder what people were doing in you wonder what people were doing in the friggin' Indian summers of the respective years. But yes, Caroline's birthday's on the 20th of June. Happy birthday for that. Now, the live stream, the As Live live stream is actually not, the As Live Streamstructor is not going out until the 16th of July. So these next ones are happy birthdays up to that point from July. So we have Deanna, who started it all off when I did the Facebook birthdays 3 years ago. Happy birthday, missus. My work colleague Brandon on the 2nd of July. Happy birthday, sir. My cousin Zoe on the 6th of July. Happy birthday, girl. And then we have friend of the channel, Alan. Your birthday's on the 6th of July as well. Happy birthday, Alan. And then we end up with one more birthday. Who are we going to pick? Kirsty's mum. Happy birthday, Kirsty's mum, for the 9th of July. Hope you have a lovely day when it comes. But that's the Facebook birthdays for this month. That's the fun and frolics and boredom. Well, not boredom, but you know what I mean. Of the Facebook birthdays. But yes, this live stream's going quite well. I've just put my arm on my microphone, but never mind. This live stream's going quite well, so it's looking quite good with the running time today. I must have a lot more to talk about than I thought. So yeah, we're talking about an hour 15 minutes here, maybe a little bit longer of this live stream. If you're not bored yet, you might be bored in a minute. No, I'm only joking. But hello, I do have a flag waver here, as Fraser says. Hello, flag waver. Please comment one of these days. It'd be nice to comment with you and have a chat. I had 4 viewers at one point, so somebody else was watching too. So hello to whoever that was as well. Please come back. I wasn't that boring, was I? Please come back. But no, all seriousness though, it's been a fun couple of months. This has been actually quite relaxing doing this live stream and actually doing something different. And I've not really stuttered my words either for once, which is interesting. I'm going to start doing that now, of course, but there we are. So yes, Doctor Who. Obviously the series is coming back, and this is a Doctor Who review of a Sylvester McCoy story, Silver Nemesis. And this one, I've got the archive up here, is with a good friend of this live stream, somebody who's probably watching right now, and probably will have lots of comments about it afterwards. Fraser joins me for this review of Doctor Who, Silver Nemesis. And welcome to another Doctor Who review. I'm continuing Who Month here, and it's a review for the 7th Doctor with Silver Nemesis. Now, it's a little bit of a special review this time, because I actually have a friend who's joined me this time. I have with me Fraser, who seems to be coming live from the TARDIS.
Yep, sorry. Yep, just getting the TARDIS cam working. There we go. We're fine. We're good. Are you receiving me? I'm in the year 3 billion. Trump's running again.
Oh no! And that joke will only work for the whole of November. Thank goodness we're only recording 2 weeks in advance. But there we are.
It's just it's just a big giant head in a jar now. So I am the face of Trump.
So yeah, it's a Doctor Who review with the 7th Doctor and Silver Nemesis. Now, as you know, as always, we have the television companion for the plot lines. Now, I've managed to transmit it through time and space to Fraser, and the gentleman here will read out the plot line for you for this wonderful little 25th anniversary story.
The Doctor and Ace visit England in 1988 for 3 rival factions. The Cybermen, a group of Nazis, and a 17th century sorceress named Lady Penfort are attempting to gain control of a statue made of living metal, Validium, that was created by Rassilon in the ultimate defence for Gallifrey. The statue has 3 components, a bow, an arrow, and the figure itself that must be brought together in order to be activated. They have been separated since 1638 when, in order to foil the first attempt by Penfort to seize it, the Doctor launched the figure into orbit in a powered asteroid. The asteroid has been approaching the Earth at 25 yearly intervals ever since, leaving a succession of disasters in its wake, and has now crash-landed near Windsor Castle. The Doctor plays the 3 factions off against one another and eventually appears to concede defeat to the Cyber leader. However, this is just part of a carefully laid trap, and the Cybermen's fleet is totally wiped out by the statue.
So that is the lovely plot line given by Fraser. Let's get into the story, shall we? Just a little bit. So, your initial thoughts of Silver Nemesis, I think we'll start with.
So I hadn't watched it properly for a while, so I watched it on the BritBox. Other streaming services are available. And I really enjoyed it. It was, you can tell, it was a weird mix of Doctor Who when it was starting to get back into its stride again in that era. But the BBC weren't giving them very much money. So there were some things that looked brilliant and some things that just looked really bad. For example, it starts in South Africa, doesn't it? 1988?
South America, yeah.
South America, sorry, yeah. And it's got the house, and that's all fine. But it kind of pans across this table, and it's just like, Nazi, Nazi, Hitler, Hitler, Nazi, and they're just making it really obvious. These are bad men. It's just like all those Nazi objects and big collectibles hanging about the place. And then the guy's in the computer, and he goes and he gets the calculations to where Nemesis is going to land, and he goes out to speak to his boss, and it cuts out to the boss, and he's just got this over-the-top, sophisticated bow and arrow, like crossbow thing, and he's about to shoot a parrot. And I was like, why on earth are you going to shoot a parrot? I was like, nah, we want you to think you're a really bad man. That's what it is. But then you kind of see the shot. They've obviously just put in the background, superimposed some hills. in the back of the shot of the house exterior for some reason, and it just looks really weird. But I liked it. It's action packed. Everybody got a lot to do. The Seventh Doctor does what the Seventh Doctor does. He makes everyone think that he's incompetent and a bit bumbling, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Only to you realise that he knew what he was doing the entire time. And I don't think Ace even knew what he was up to most of the time. Although I think she's starting to catch on a wee bit to his method. The stunts were good. I mean, there was so much shooting, so many bang bang shoots, and the Ace and the Doctor were almost getting gunned down. 2 minutes after you see they appear on screen and diving into water and all sorts. It was just like, my God. Couldn't help but notice that you never see inside the TARDIS in this story.
Well, I think really the TARDIS, it's more the fact that it was stuck at Ealing Elstree. It was Elstree. It was stuck at Elstree, just off the back of Great Show of the Galaxy, because they just come off the back of that. So that's probably where it was. They didn't have any space for it. But they had to be completely outside as well because of the asbestos thing that was happening in that time in the BBC Television Centre. So
I remember speaking to Seamus, Moira, whatever we're calling him, and he thought it was because they hadn't fixed the TARDIS console for so long because they didn't want to spend the money on it, that the prop itself was just falling apart, and that was maybe why you didn't see it as much as well.
Well, that's true, but obviously they had a location factor. It's kind of similar to Spearhead from space. They didn't have the studio space, so they couldn't do some of the shots they wanted to. So they ended up doing it all outside in location. And it actually lends well for the story to have it all in location anyway, to be fair.
What did you think of the Cybermen's costumes?
Well, yeah, we need sunglasses to see them, I think. They're very shiny.
They had this weird design in the hand where they had normal fingers, but these two fingers were just one. But it just looked like it was two fingers fitting into a little tiny glove, and they all had it, and it reminded me of Centauran hands instead for some reason. Yeah. And it was very distracting because they all had it, and at no point, and I couldn't stop staring. I was like, "What is this for?" And it never comes into play what it's for.
I mean, the Cybermen they have different hand designs as time goes on. They've got the cricket glove design, which most of the 80s had, and then you've got this design, and then you've got the claw and the pincers that they have in the 60s and everything, and then tubular bells of Revenge of the Cybermen. Oh God! But it's all like corrugated tubing. They went overboard with that, I think, with with Revenge. But here, it's quite a boiler suit, sprayed silver. The headpiece is actually pretty good.
Yeah, the headpiece is good, and the pieces on the chest are good. But I think that the boiler suit just let it down a little bit. It just looked a bit cheap.
There are times where you can actually tell there's a glove over the suit because the sleeves are sticking out a little bit at times.
Do you remember the first time you see the Cybermen and it was cloth and mostly and it was the 60s, and I felt they were far more terrifying. Even now, when in the new series when you had the 12th Doctor meet the Mondas Cybermen, they were just more scary than maybe what the Nemesis Cybermen were doing. But they're great villains. I love the Cybermen, especially Mondas Cybermen. Parallel Earth ones are fine too. But there's something quite nostalgic about Mondas Cybermen that I like.
Overall, it's an enjoyable romp. It's not what I would call take the brain out. It is enjoyable enough. I'm not sure if there's much substance to the story plots though. After the first episode, it builds up quite well and it kind of goes a bit haywire. I think just a little bit.
Yeah, you can see why it's only 3 parts.
Yeah, if it was 4, it'd really struggle.
It would drag. But I feel like Sophie Aldred gets a lot to do, and I love that. She's got a lot of action scenes. The Cybermen are really out to get her for some reason, and I don't feel she's done it. They seem to pick on her specifically than any other character in it. They seem to kill the human female, and it's just what has she done to annoy you?
Oh, she blew up their ship, by the Doctor say so, but she blew up their ship. That's probably a good reason. I
did like that. Ace, have you gone rogue, and are you carrying about some of that Nitro 9 I told you not to do? But yeah, I think she gets a lot of good stuff to do. Especially in the action scenes, and I love it when she's on the staircase with the gold coins, with the what's she got?
Slingshot.
slingshot. There you go. I was thinking of the Simpsons, and she's just like taking them out one at a time, and even the bit where she has to like reach for the coins, and then they shoot the coins, just run up the stairs, and the whole bit when she's on the kind of gangplank at the top of it, I thought it was just really good. It's just good action.
Oh, considering the limited budgets they have on there, yeah, they did very well. They obviously have limited time as well, because the explosions are probably a bit bigger than health and safety would allow even in the 80s. Never mind.
when the Nemesis asteroid leaves again, it just goes boom. Just a giant plume of smoke. Anyone who was in that factory is dead.
It's just the fact they would probably turned around not long after that and said, right, we need to build something on here because Doctor Who's destroyed the set, you know. But
I thought the death of some of the Cybermen by rocket fuel, the blast of the rocket, I thought that was quite dark.
That's quite dark, melting them, yeah.
Yeah, and they scream, pain. There was just a lot. I thought that was quite dark, but it was, and the Doctor like hides Ace from it. Like, he turns her head away from it. But I enjoyed Lady Penford.
Yes.
She was deliciously over the top, and I loved her companion, whose name I cannot remember now. But he's just
Richard, yeah.
He's a bit scared about going, forward in time and being out of his own time.
That's understandable.
Yeah, of course. But then he's loyal to her to a fault. Defender. He takes out a good few Cybermen as well. I
mean, this whole thing about the Cybermen being taken out by golden tipped arrows is a slightly far fetched, because they're impeded by it. They shouldn't really die from it. They're just impeded by it. Because remember, in Earthshock, the Adric star is used to impede the breathing, but it's actually one of their own guns that kills the cyber leader. It wasn't actually.
Okay.
It isn't actually the gold. So this whole thing about gold being used to kill the Cybermen is slightly far fetched in my eyes.
Who was the story editor on Nemesis?
Was it Andrew Cartmel? Yeah.
Well, he should have known better.
Problem is, he didn't half the time. That's the thing. JNT was guiding him a little bit with these sort of things. It just seems to be the whole plot thing. It's like, right, okay, we need the Cybermen. We need it some to about 25 years, and we need some big all-ending thing. Hang on a minute, Ben. Where's your script? I need to get some ideas. As in Ben Aronovich from Remembrance. That really feels like to me a little bit. It's a little bit Remembrance-esque with these different factions coming in.
Well, it comes back to, who are you, the Doctor's secret, who are you, and she threatens to reveal who he really is. Mm-hmm. And the Cyberman's just like, we don't care.
we don't give a France, yeah.
We don't care about Gallifreyan's secrets. It's like, really? You could use it against them? What I thought was quite nice was like when the Doctor uses the transmitter or the scanner, whatever it is, and he takes away the curtain and reveals all of the cyber ships hanging over Earth.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a bit reminiscent of Part of the Ways and Bad Wolf, when, there's nothing there, and then they cancel the signal, and boom, millions of Dalek ships are there. Obviously, their effects are a lot better than what it had in Cybermen.
Yeah, they had proper CGI then, not just paint box CGI.
Static shots and blinking lights. Oh no, we'll never get away from the blinking boxes.
To be fair, the model work that was used was not too bad. I mean, exploding cyber scout ship was pretty well done.
That was really good.
And I actually did like the effects of them flying over the trees as well. So they actually managed to impose it that it's behind the trees as well. Yeah. So that was quite good compositing going on there for the 80s.
I liked when they go to Lady Penford's tomb, and it says on it, "Death is but a door."
Yeah.
And I could not think of Ghostbusters 2 because Vigo the Carpathian's last words are, "Death is but a door, time a window, I'll be back." And that was 1 year before Ghostbusters 2. So I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of nice touches I've noticed in this one. The glowing arrow and bow. I love that effect. I know it's front axial projection and the whole that technology, but I love that effect, and it's amazing that they were using that in the Green Death 15 years before. Never mind, but they've managed to. It works actually better in the dull than it does in the sunlight.
Well, even Nemesis herself, she looks genuinely terrifying at points. There's something quite sad about her. she's this living weapon, and she knows she is.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting for her freedom, which I don't think is resolved in this episode.
No, the Doctor says reform and I'll need you again.
Yeah. Which
So
we never put.
But that's an extra undertone that's in the series, in this story, that you wouldn't have got a couple of years before.
Yeah.
And this is the sort of development of, you talking about the series getting better at this point. They've gone to another level in regards to the writing, even though this one's a bit of a hodgepodge. They've got another level in regards to the ideas.
They were leaning heavily on the darker Doctor and the mystery of the Doctor, and that's what Andrew Cartmel is on record to say, that he wanted to bring back this mysteriousness, this darkness about the Doctor, which I think Chibnall was doing a bit of in Series 12 with Jodie as well, like, you know, the mystery, who are you? And I like that. And I like that at the end when, you know, Ace is like, who are you, Doctor? And he just goes, It's like, oh, you'll never know.
The one thing that we have to make it clear and make it absolutely cool, and you put a screenshot of this yesterday on your Facebook, the fez and the mop.
Right,
the 11th Doctor was not the first to wear it.
I was watching it yesterday, and I just clocked that Ace has got a fez on. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So yeah, it was quite fun seeing Ace wearing a fez.
Yeah.
That's Ace for you.
Mm-hmm. But this kind of manic, fun Doctor you're getting with McCoy, along with the darkness. He's still the cosmic hobo-esque, Troughton-esque element sometimes with some of the things he's doing. The scene with the fez where he's walking behind all the outcomes, and 1 minute he's got the fez and broom in his hand, the next minute he's back to his normal umbrella and hat, and then obviously the bits with the jazz and listening on the hill with the jazz and that sort of element as well, and the bits where the element when he puts his hand in the tiger's head in the storeroom and goes all those little elements that he was still part of there. But there's a lot more of the dark side. This is kind of like the Remembrance was the first instance of it, but this is kind of like where he goes more dark, and you can see that in Great Show afterwards.
Do you feel there's a line in it? So at the start, when you see Ace and the Doctor for the first time, and she goes up to the jazz band and says, "Will you sign my tape, please?"
Courtney Pine, yeah.
And the Doctor says, "Don't you get embarrassed doing that?" And I'm like, was that a comment towards fans?
Probably. It might even be an ad-lib thing that he said on the day, because obviously maybe Sophie is a big fan of Courtney Pine. So
Comic-Cons then, nothing like what they are now. They were more like comic marts and book fairs more than Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
They weren't very trendy, but being a Whovian wasn't trendy. I mean, I say it's trendy now. It's obviously a lot more popular. It just felt like that comment to me, it stuck out. It stuck out for me.
But that's obviously, it sounds to me like one of the ad-libs.
Yeah.
Now, on the version you saw in BritBox, does it have any extended scenes, or is it just the actual story itself? Does it have the scene where where they're making, where is it? There's a bit in Windsor Castle when they're trying to get to the Queen.
Yes.
And they escape, and they go down the staircase. I
recognise her, and Ace just pulls him in. Talk to the Professor. What? Why didn't you say? That's the person we need.
No, in the extended version that you get on the VHS, and it is in the deleted scenes in the DVD, so I don't know if BritBox has this, is why I was asking the question.
No, I don't think it does.
There's a scene where they escape through the Windsor Castle. It's extended a little bit, and they escape through Windsor Castle. And one bit, the Doctor manages to get away from the bodyguards by McCoy putting his real glasses on and doing some hypnotism for them.
Yeah, he goes, "You look at me. You stay here. You come with me."
Yeah, is that bit? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the bit down the stairs with the photograph, with the portrait of Ace. That's not in the original That's not in the original transmission.
And I don't
know if that was in BritBox.
I don't remember seeing it in BritBox.
Mm-hmm. But you know the scenes.
Yeah, I know the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sophie has that painting.
Does she?
In her house. And when she has people, she tells the story, and when people come round, they go, "Oh, that's a wonderful portrait," and she goes, "Yes, it's of my great grandmother." And they go, "Oh my god!"
But overall, I mean, you mentioned some of the cast. We mentioned Paidfort, we've mentioned the Doctor, we mentioned Ace, mentioned Richard, and but De Flores we've not really said much about.
he reminds me of the actor who played Demon Headmaster, the original Demon Headmaster. I know it's not him, but he reminded me. I felt at times he was just a wee bit over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a bit where when he takes the silver bow, Nemesis bow, it just looks really small in his hands, and it just looked a bit silly to me. I was like, no, okay. But I thought he played his part well, but I feel like there wasn't very much for him to do. His role seemed to be bringing the armed goons to shoot at people to get things done, and then obviously try to make a deal with the Cybermen who he knew he was going to double cross or try to double cross. So yeah, I feel once the Cybermen were in it, they weren't needed.
He was kind of like a rabbit in headlights most of it. And speaking of which, the very last scene, I don't know what it is, but I always got the sense it felt rushed, and I found out that actually it was rushed because it was the last thing of the day, and they were trying to get the time, the bit where they all come together. And I mean, that fear you see in McCoy's eyes, that's probably real fear. He's probably thinking through his head, "Oh my God, what's the next line? What's the next line? I can't think."
The cameraman will down tools in 5 minutes. Because that's how it used to work. That's how back in the day in the BBC, like when it got to 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever, down tools. And if you hadn't finished filming, then that was it for you.
I mean, loads of explosions. I like the action sequences. The effects are not too bad. The music's okay. Good. I'm not a great fan of McCulloch's stuff sometimes. Remembrance is fine. I don't mind it in Time of the Rani and Paradise Towers, to be fair. I'm not a great fan of it in Nemesis. It just seems too forced orchestral, if you know what I'm saying. It's not quite bombastic. Yeah. It's not bombastic like Murray Gold's later stuff, but it's kind of like he's relying too much on the pathos being with all these instruments. It's not like Dudley Simpson's is quite refined, or Paddy Kingsland, who's very good at occasional leitmotifs of the music. It's like a full score through the whole thing. There's very little where he's not actually doing anything with the music. The direction by Chris Clough's not too bad. Yeah, considering it's rushed and considering it's all outside. I
think everyone gives a solid performance. I really enjoyed the moment where they get a ride off of the American in the limo.
Dolores Gray, who's brilliantly over the top, which is exactly what you need for the comedy part.
It felt very JNT.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my days, I'm sharing a car with someone who's researched my family history." And she mentions the name and goes, "Nothing but thieves and crooks. She bribed away my cook. It was a slow poison." And she's just like, "Oh, it's great hearing all this. This is the bit." And she went, "Destiny will be mine. Oh, it will be, honey."
It surely will. It surely do. Yeah, I know.
To keep the straight face, but she's like, "Yes, all things will come my way."
All things. It's the fact she goes. It's the whole thing. I think it's been foreshadowed a little bit that the cyber leader turns around when Painful goes to her grave, and he thinks that she's going to go mad by seeing her dead body.
It's this madness.
Yeah. Is this madness, leader? I believe it is. Yeah.
Sassy Cyberman.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's kind of foreshadowed a little bit because obviously later on she does lose the plot, but that's because she knows she's losing power. It sounds very familiar in this current climate, to be fair, but there we are.
Yeah, so she leaps into the asteroid and kind of becomes one with Nemesis.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking it's the same actress who plays Nemesis?
Yes, Fiona Walker does both.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
And she was in Doctor Who before. She was a minor part in Keys and Marinus.
There was some... I think when you watch it back now, with time having, been a factor, there's some kind of, lesbian tendencies underlying for Ace. Mm-hmm. Particularly in Survival, I think it's really obvious in Survival. But I feel like when Nemesis says to her, "Do you find me beautiful?" Ace is properly besotted with Nemesis. Yeah. And I think there's a wee bit of lingering there. And I think there's elements of that as well in Ghostlight. I think there's certainly
with the girl who takes everyone to Java. What's her name again? Oh.
So I wonder if Sophie or the writers have said Ace is bi or Ace is gay, but we're not allowed to say it.
Yeah.
Because if we say our companion's gay, people aren't going to want the figures or the toys, or they're not going to watch it and whatever else. But I just thought it was really interesting to, like, it just came across really strongly for me when I was watching it yesterday, and I just wonder, because now obviously I write many award-winning web series, and Innes, when we were doing Origins, said to me, she messaged me, she went, I've got to ask you a favour for Effie, the character she's playing. And she's like, can Effie be bi? And I was like, absolutely. And I didn't have to think about it. So I just wonder if there was a similar conversation at some point back in the 80s.
Probably. I get the impression that the TARDIS crew were quite liberal at that time for a lot of things.
Because J&T was gay, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
So it would make sense.
I mean, the production unit manager was his partner, Gary Downey, so...
Yeah, so you'd like to think he was trying to bleed in representation in a time when it probably wasn't welcome. Because that would have been peak HIV times.
Yeah, it would have been.
When there was massive campaigns to... Like, I think everybody... we're pivoting here. But, so I just wonder if there was a power struggle. Just find it fascinating. I love the behind-the-scenes stuff. So
no, it's fair enough, and I think in regards to that sort of situation with some of the characters and some of the companions, I get the impression that Perry maybe had some leanings towards that. I don't think Mel did. Definitely don't think Mel did.
No, not Mel.
She's too girly. I also get the impression that Turlough may have had some leanings that way as well, a little bit.
Yeah, because the actor... Oh, no.
Mark Strickson isn't.
Yeah.
Matthew Waterhouse apparently is, and he's just rubbish.
he came out not that long ago, I don't think.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, but it would have been bubbling away his conscience.
Yeah, but so. I mean, I'm not a great fan of Matthew Waterhouse, as you might have seen from the previous 3 reviews from the Space trilogy. But
he was just a bit of a naff companion.
He was a little bit, yes. I have to admit that. I'm sorry. He's the overriding theme this series. This Who month is Matthew Waterhouse is a rubbish actor.
Yeah, it was Peter Davison said the Doctor probably could have saved Adric, but chose not to.
It's probably a good thing, actually. Mind you, there's a good story they have about Adric post Earthshock in the Big Finish audios, which is an interesting thing. It's not Matthew Waterhouse that plays it, but it's an interesting development of the character and how needy he was.
I like in on the DVD for Earthshock, there's part 5.
Yeah,
there's a special feature, and it's like a claymation thing, and Adric lands on Earth with the Cyber Leader's head. And he goes, "Oh, I'm alive!" And then a dinosaur just comes along, goes, "Hop," and eats him. And then it just cuts the Cyber Leader going, "Excellent."
Yeah, I know, it's just brilliant. But going back to our story, going back to Nemesis, I know we always go off on tangents. This is why it's so enjoyable. But overall,
it's what Lynn and Robert come for.
Yeah, the tangents. Yeah, absolute tangents.
I guarantee you, before she hit play on this video, she switched off Alexa.
I bet she did. Yes. Come on, that joke is now 4 months old, and Jamie didn't get it at the time, and Jamie still doesn't get it now. But there we are. As Lynn quite rightly pointed out, his face was really confusing when on the Kidstructor for that.
That's a point. In case Jamie's watching this, Alexa, set alarm 2:30 a.m.
You're a cruel so-and-so. But
back to the story.
Yes, back to the story, back to some wrapping up. I mean, overall, it's not bad. It's not great. There is that the received wisdom, which we have an argument about what our top 6 are and what our bad 6 are. This falls into me as one of the bad 6 of McCoy.
But no, I love McCoy's era. I will say this, I prefer the era with Ace. I feel that's when it's at its strongest. I feel like Ace was a much better fit for Sylvester's Doctor.
Well, you can tell the rapport's there between the two of them. There's some companion teams, the rapport's not quite there. I mean, I made it clear in the East-based stuff I've been doing recently that there is some tension in the performance between Lalla Ward and Tom Baker at times. because they were having arguments at that point. They were having relationship issues.
Who was the scariest monster at your time in Doctor Who? Tom Baker.
Yeah, that's what she said. That's what she said. But there's also elements where you can tell there's a deep bond and the relationship works. And those sort of companion teams are the case throughout Doctor Who.
I would love to have seen one more season with Ace and the Doctor. But
I think that would have been good.
But
to
that
have one more season.
Our plan, I think, was to leave halfway through.
Yeah.
Which would have been, I'd be heartbroken even now. I don't like it when companions leave. Apart from some I don't care about. But it would have been good to see one more season, I think.
Yeah. But the great thing with the Ace Doctor, and the great thing with all the companions, is we get developments of each of the Doctor's companions from Tom onwards in Big Finish, and I believe that Sophie is the one that's done the most stories.
Yeah,
because she's in virtually every McCoy one where he isn't on his own. But but it's obvious she enjoys the action stuff because you can see this in Nemesis.
Yeah, she's got a lot of great action and death.
Yeah,
and the same in Remembrance where she gets to beat up a Dalek.
Yeah, well, that's her famous scene, isn't it? Beat up a Dalek in Nemesis. So.
And then smash through a window.
Yeah,
which I don't think was her.
I don't think that was her, but I think she did do it. But I think the ankle thing was actually real.
Yeah, I think if Sophie was allowed to jump through the window, I think she would have done it.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of stunts, there is one in this one where Sylvester isn't part of it. It's jumping in the river one.
Was that not him?
That's a stunt man.
It was a bit flat, that bit, truthfully.
Yeah, the reason being is because he had a cold.
Right.
So they didn't want to risk it.
Because you get the run of gunfire, and then he just goes, and he just falls in the water quite flatly.
Yeah.
Or Sophie chucks herself into it. And it was just...
But that's why, it wasn't him.
Yeah, it just felt a bit state. Because later on, he's like doing backward rolls and all sorts on the hill and all that. So...
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love
the bit with the gecko.
Well, they're shrouded. Yes.
Just imagine the gecko goes, oh yes, it was lovely to work with Sylvester. Always playing the spoons. Back in those days, we had tape, and we used so much tape on spoons. And that's why the ending was rushed. Because we had no tape left. But it was very lovely to work with. I wonder what he does now.
But overall,
sorry,
I know we keep segueing, but this is what was going to happen. This edit is going to be absolutely fun. Is the point way of putting it?
Gary the gecko. I wonder what he's doing now.
But summing up, yeah. Overall, I did like the story as a whole. It's enjoyable to watch. It's not the strongest, as I say. There are some weaker parts. I think the script couldn't lend itself to 4 episodes. I think it was struggling to do 3, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah. I think they did run out of steam rather quickly. It could have been the only 2-parter of season 25, and it probably would have worked better, to be fair.
Yeah.
However, overall, I'm not going to do time-lapse ratings. I think I'm going to do a TARDIS rating of 3 TARDISes out of 5. I'm generous in that respect. Atypical. But yeah,
it's a genuine 4 from me. I enjoyed it.
No, I understand why you're a 4. But when I look at the other,
you have to give it 3.5.
I was thinking of 3.5, but I think in reflection, with all the other stories I reviewed, it's more a 3 than a 3.5. But that doesn't necessarily mean that in the future it would be better. But at the moment, it's definitely a 3 out of 5 for me, and a 4 out of 5 for you, Fraser.
Yes, and not because I'm close friends with Sophia.
Not that at all. No. I didn't expect that for anything. Thank you, Fraser, for joining in today.
No worries. I'm just going to nip off to somewhere in time and space. I'm going to go back to 1988 and make sure that Sylvester's not got a cold. I will shield him.
Oh dear!
It's been a pleasure to talk about the anniversary episode of Doctor Who for that season.
Yeah, no, it's been good to have a review with somebody else for once. It's been a while since I last did it, so it's a pleasure to do that with you, mate. Thank you very much for that, and that kind of seals Who Month for me this year for 2020. Why does Fraser make everything so much better? Oh, that's really good. Yes, there we are. Live stream. Well, that's that one done. That Doctor Who review. I'm just refreshing because it looks like it's not refreshing the chat properly, so I'll just get that sorted. But yeah, there we are. Deanstructor reviews Doctor Who, Silver Nemesis, with Fraser as a special guest. Oh, it is him. Yes, I know. You fell so far behind, you're going to help with the view count, which is great. Thank you, sir. But yes, just one thing I do have to say, or make a comment to before we go any further. Computer, set the alarm for 5 minutes. And anybody else who gets that, well, one person will get that, and we'll see how it turns out. But yes, no doubt, certain viewers will watch and might have some problems. But yes, I had to do that. But that was an interesting little review. 34 minutes was the original. I cut it down just a little bit because there were stats and bits and pieces in between, but it's still fun. Still a good review, and it's still a good one overall, and it was quite fun having Fraser there. That is currently the last time I've done a review with somebody else. I haven't done a review with somebody else since, so maybe it's due again. And he said it'd be nice to have Sophie back in Doctor Who one more time. That's what happened. Time of the Doctor. We were talking about, obviously, season 12 and that series 12 had just come out at that point. But yeah, no, it's been interesting. It's been fun watching that again, and it's been a lot of fun looking at that. Facebook birthdays earlier on. I'm forgetting one person whose birthday will be, who's actually turning 30 on the 28th of June. Rachel, happy birthday when it comes. It's a big milestone. It is a big milestone. Hopefully, it's a good one. It's a good one. Whether I will join you, I'm not sure yet, but I think it's probably just the commitments and everything else and other things that are going on, and because it's going to be such a busy couple of months, I think most commitments I'm not going to be able to join at some point this year, I'm afraid. It's a real shame, but it's just one of these things with everything else going up. Right, going forward, yes, so the channel itself, the live stream is going to be Higglety, yeah, that. They're going to be Higglety for a few months, couple of months. So next month, the live stream, or the Streamstructor, because it's as live, will be on the 16th of July. The reason it's on the 16th of July is because that's the only weekend I've got free to do anything YouTube related, because I have reenactments events 1st, 2nd, 4th and the 5th weekends in February. In July. Rachel's birthday. One of my friends from the Who group, that's whose birthday is coming up. She's 30. But then again, there's another big birthday for me in October, but we all know about that. Or at least we should do by now. So yeah, the reenactment stuff. I am going to be a man-at-arms at various sites across central Scotland. I start off at Dumbarton Castle on the 8th of July, and you'll see me in various places, including Rome and Edinburgh Castle for a couple of days in the 22nd and 23rd. So come along, say hello, say hi, all the usual bits and pieces. If you catch me, photographs, well appreciated, absolutely. Oof, to remember 30, I don't. I do, it was like yesterday, then I realised it wasn't yesterday, but there we are. But yeah, no, that's fine. So lots of reenactment stuff. So I've got only one weekend, and it's an as live because I've actually got a social event again on the 16th. So I'll be recording it the night before on the Saturday. So it'll be an as live instalment of Streamstructor on the 15th of July. And August is going to be very similar as well. It's not going to be it will be live, but it will be a live stream on the 20th of August. So yeah, there's quite a bit of difference coming up here very soon. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, the whole situation with this channel and the streams and things like that. But you'll still have content all the way through. It will still keep going up. And coming up for the rest of the month, we have the clip from the live stream on Wednesday at 6 PM GMT. Then we have the Poddington piece. Sorry, being rude and interrupting you. Yeah, you always are, Fraser. That's the whole point. People will chat and talk to me like that. It's fine. That's the nature of live streams. And you've done it again. Yeah, we've got Poddington piece next week, and Oh my god, I think it's one of the best we've done in regards to the way we're with each other. It's brilliant. We've then got a Doctor Who review of Gridlock on the 18th at 4 p.m. GMT, and then the Space Museum, the William Hartnell story, on the 21st of June at 4 p.m. GMT. And we finish the month with 6 facts on George Orwell. Peas, yes. You'll be very pleased with this, with the reaction, I think, Fraser. Haha. So yes, I think it will be a great little setup. This isn't refreshing properly. The chat, there we are. We'll get that back again, and we'll get everything up and running. The chat seemed to be a bit sluggish. That might be part of the reason of the slowness. There we are. It's up there now. So yes, that's it for this month for the live stream for the Streamstructor. Thank you everybody who's watched this later, who's watched this live, and yes, if you like these videos, hit the like button, share it with the hashtag Teamstructor. If you like the channel as a whole, hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you know when a new video comes out. General, new video every Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. I am back next week, of course, with a vlog. You've got the, not vlog. It's not vlog this month, I'm getting confused. Kidstructor next Sunday. And of course we have the clip from this live stream up on Wednesday at 6 p.m. GMT. Or as I'll now start saying for Fraser's benefit, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock UK time, 7 o'clock Scottish time, and then obviously next Sunday is 5 p.m. Scottish time. But thanks guys for watching as always. Have a good month, have a good week. I will see you live, as live in 6 weeks time on the 16th of July. But I hope you enjoy your time up till then. I certainly will have a lot to talk about at that point. But until then, I'm getting tired. But until then, guys, thanks so much for watching. And you know what? I will see you next time. See you later.